If you've been reselling for a while, you know the pain of stale inventory. I have had items that sat for months, some even over a year. This summer, I decided to try something different and I asked ChatGPT, what do I do? And guess what? In July, 8 of my 28 sales were thanks to ChatGPT. In August, it was 18 of 37. In fact, August has been my highest grossing month this year. Let me show you the exact prompts I used, how I worked them into my reselling routine, and what sold. Hi Singles friends, my name is Heather and I'm a part-time reseller, and today I'm going to share with you how I used ChatGPT to revive some stale listings. These listings were not complete duds. Some of these brands are great, some of these vintage items are things I would pick up again. They just weren't moving. And on top of that, a lot of them I've lowered and lowered the price and still couldn't get them gone until I had ChatGPT act as my assistant buddy. This summer, I used ChatGPT to help revive some stale listings, and you guys, I'm pretty surprised by the results. In July, 8 out of 28 of my sales came from ChatGPT's assistance, but in August, almost 50% of my sales, 18 out of 37 of my sales came from ChatGPT's assistance. And even more so, August so far has been my best performing month year to date. So let's talk about it. What prompts did I use? What flips sold? And how can you do it too? So here's how ChatGPT helped. I used 3 simple prompts. The first one, should I relist it, discount it, or donate it? So my thought process here is the item worthy? Does it have a following? Will it sell? And if so, I'll delete it, revamp the listing, and relist it. I also have a $5 sale going on eBay. So should I delete it off of every platform but eBay and stick it into the $5 sale category? Or should I cut my losses? I probably won't even be able to get rid of it for $5 and just suck it up and donate it. Prompts number 2, let's write some fresh titles and descriptions and tags if applicable. Let's make sure the titles fit each of the individual platforms based on SEO and characters allowed. And let's also make sure that the description is keyword heavy, because our goal here is to get it in front of as many eyes as we can. Number 3, let's price it to move. I want this stuff to be sold within 3 to 6 months. Preferably, I'd like it to be gone by the end of 4th quarter. Let me show you an example of item number 1. This item, if you guys are a longtime sequels viewer, you will remember it from the ThredUp box from hell that stunk to high heaven, and it was all extra smalls and mostly Ann Taylor and Banana Republic. And I went to pull some of this stuff out when I did pulls last time, and I decided instead just to deeply discount it, but I still have some pieces lingering. To be honest with you, when I did these prompts, I actually figured that Chat would suggest, because of the small sizing, to go ahead and donate it. But Chat did not. Chat said, why don't you add that to your $5 sale? Banana Republic navy textured blouse in an extra small. I ended up revamping the titles, moving it into my $5 sale category on eBay. And I did all of that on 7/27, and it sold on 7/28. the very next day. And I've been sitting on it since April 12th of 2024. This next item was a really fun one for me, and it shows you how ChatGPT can really help you to learn new things. I know some people say ChatGPT is going to make us all dumber, but if you pay attention to what it's showing you and you can learn how to build your listings better, this is a perfect example of that. This is a Madison cardigan that I just love the texture, the black and white, the very mid-2000s silhouette, and I have had this listed since December 1st of last year. I'm gonna actually share with you guys now the before and after of the listing, so you can see what the listing has looked like the last however many times I've relisted it since I've had it, and that just did not work. But when I ended up relisting it with this new listing, It's sold in just a couple of days. So let's talk about the difference here. What it looked like before was my very typical listing. I almost always include the brand, even if the brand doesn't mean anything to me, in the title, because some brands mean more to others. And I never ever list, so I never ever really exclude the brand, and I never ever list decades in pieces unless they are pretty much vintage pieces. So I rarely call anything in the title Y2K if it's not Y2K. Now I may put in the description Y2K vibes or whatever, but never in the title. So this broke two of my standard rules that I do all the time. And like I said, it was listed on 8/29, sold on 8/31 for $19.65, which was a little bit less than I had listed it for because I did have a Labor Day sale going on. This is not the first sale going on, so I am convinced that it is the title and description changes that got this moved and not the sale. Also, I don't think I've ever once used twee in as any descriptor ever, which goes perfectly with what I said for those mid-2000 vibes. So I've learned 3 new things just from that one listing. The third prompt is pricing. Asking Chat to check through current comps on various platforms and tell me where it thinks the price should be. So the example for this one is this Maeve beautiful pleated maxi skirt that I absolutely love and that I am selling on consignment for a Sequels BFF. I originally had this item listed for $54 based on the comps that I searched on eBay. I asked Chat about it. They suggested listing it for $38 to $40 if I wanted to get it sold by the end of the year, which I said in my prompt is something I definitely want to consider. So I dropped the price to $40, and then I also used prompt 2 to have Chat help me revamp the title and description. And I did all of that and relisted it on 8/18, and it sold on 8/29, a little under $40, $37.10, because I was running a Labor Day sale. And I have to tell you guys, I was not anticipating that this strategy was gonna work. I thought this might be a fun little experiment to share with you guys here in a YouTube video, but I figured as a pretty seasoned part-time reseller who has a fairly good understanding of SEO that Chat would not be able to beat me at creating listings and descriptions. But clearly I am wrong. And especially learning from that Madison sweater, there's all sorts of terminology, and I'm a strict rule follower in my head. There's not a lot of leeway, and I'm learning through Chat to learning new terminology and also learning not to be so rigid in the rules, because people aren't rigid in their search terms. Here's the payoff, and I'm shook, guys, really. In July, 8 out of my total sales were thanks to Chat's assistance, and that was $95 net. So I'm assuming I would not have had those sales if it wasn't for Chat's assistance. And now here, this past month in August, 18, almost half of my sales came from Chat, and that put $445 in my pocket. And it's so shocking to me because a lot of this stuff is getting to the point where you feel like you're ready to give up on it. You're considering like, oh, I just got it in the bins, maybe I should redonate it, maybe I should have $5 clearance sale it. But clearly Chat has a great understanding of how to help when it comes to reviving old listings. So can you guys believe it? ChatGPT really did take some stale inventory and turn them into profitable sales. And you guys can do it too. You don't have to go through every single one of your listings and go through this method. Just pick those old listings that you're thinking about donating and just ask the few prompts and see if it's really worth its while. Then give it 3 months and see if they sell. It's not really worth anything besides your time, and you may figure out, just like me, that you learn a lot from the experience. experience. To guide you on your journey of dabbling in ChatGPT to revive old listings, I've gone ahead and included my top 3 prompts below. Now, I've been experimenting all throughout the summer with chat, so I have a lot of other prompts that I've been using to actually build my listings the way I like, and I'm also comparing chat and built-in AI features like you have recently come out in Etsy and is also in List Perfectly. If you're interested in learning more about how to navigate ChatGPT in addition to the 3 prompts that I have below, go ahead and let me know in the comment section, and I'll be happy to create another video where I roll out the next set of prompts. If you're interested in more reselling tips and flips, check out the videos on the screen and the playlists. I have so much to share with you as a part-time reseller, and you can deep dive into all of that content. As always, I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and I do thank you so much for the support, and I will see you next time with some more reselling content. And as I love to say here at Sequels, don't forget, the remake can outshine the original. Have a great one, guys. Bye.